Hello everyone, welcome back to something that we all missed dearly. What if Izuku Midoriya was Victor Von Doom? Season 2. Let's go. Last time we left Izuku Midoriya, well, he was in dire straits. He got his ass beat. He got jumped by an entire swan song of heroes and villains all the same. And personally, he thought he would die. He should have. However, with both of his feet in the grave, about to be dragged down into the abyss, he proceeded to punch his casket open as the gravedigger was putting dirt back on the grave. And he put a lot of people in coffins. He put those of Mr. X and people just in general that could have survived, that didn't. The entire Xavier School for Special Children got core cracked. I was like, oh, what do you mean by core cracked? He literally put a bomb that was meant to glass planets in his gauntlet, shot it out as it took off Sabretooth's skull, and blew him up and caused it to explode as Izuku used his teleportation technology. Yes, he does use tech to disappear. The entire world believing him to be dead. And that his suicide. We skip 2 years. The anniversary of his death and the anniversary of Charles Xavier and his people on the Island of Mutants. Funny enough, I forgot what it's called. I don't want to look it up. This time, the Island of Mutants. God, I forgot what it was called, but I'ma just leave it there. What would happen is essentially, there would be a statue to Charles, as well as all the people that were there, that survived, that died, that had all those things happen. However, unknowing to them, high in the sky, high as the goddamn stars, sat a man now almost 30, with green hair, no graying, but he looks just as old as we last remember, with some new scars to boot. Izuku's jimmies thoroughly ruffled. His time has come. During this day, this horrid day of violence, to celebrate the lives and also in a day of remembrance to the heroes that took down the tyrant, Izuku Midoriya. Some villains were pardoned. Others continued with what they did. Most of them continued what they did. Others became heroes. Others became civilians. The Civil War, now non-existent. The Human Registration Act, the Hero Registration Act revoked by all world governments, not even considering re-putting that shit back up. A copy of Ultron sits next to Izuku, and he says, "So, today will be the day, then." "Yes. It is most logical today. That... and I know a bunch of people fucking missed me." A slight chuckle would come from Ultron. Izuku and Ultron, along with Ra's al Ghul and other fairly decently named heroes and villains, are up and running. Everyone knows what's supposed to happen today. Heroes from across the globe are heading and are at that city of mutants. This, my friends, will be fun. Someone stirs, feeling off. Multiple people would. Having this sixth sense of danger, but shrugging it off. For that has happened damn near every single day that this memorial service has happened for the fallen. But this time, they should have trusted their instincts. One person awakes with a start and begins running as fast as they can to get to Magneto. They're trying so hard. They're going and running so hard. But they realize the time is too late. He told his family he had to leave. They had to leave and grab the Carters. Something terrible is going to happen. In orbit, things begin flying down upon the land, the city of mutants. Titans of purple and light violet hues. 17 slam into the ground. And mid-speech of Magneto, no one knowing what is happening. Some of them believing this is an attack on their soil and begins attempting to use their powers. And nothing. When they would all 17 would lift their hands up in unison. And those with speed abilities attempting to flee, with others with things such as Compound V still coursing through their system, and others with naturally gifted superpowers would go to engage. Thump, 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 as the sounds of canisters flying out of the palms of these titans' hands, skittering against the floor, and explosions would ring out. It is disgusting. It's insane. They're stopping mutant powers. The first one to go was Magneto. Granted, some of them are being destroyed, but this is all being insane. It's all being filmed still. This entire place would fall on hard times as 17 Titans came and trampled the city. They were not ready for orbital bombardment. No one was. Especially for this message that came next. Across every working screen, and even ones that did not work. Hello, everyone. As the visage of what you would see on screen now appears. You would believe that I be dead. And you're wrong. I appreciate you commemorating how many men and women I have killed. Thank you. And also gives me a reminder to why and how I should deal with people like you. So, I will deal with you accordingly. Like lambs to the slaughter. Velos und therum. The cameras would cut as the sleeper agents. Their eyes would glow for but a moment and then turn back to regular. All of their information being shunted into Izuku. Classified or unclassified. It was marvelous. During this, he was sitting on a chair with a headset on with all of the information basically going to databanks. Information on heroes and villains alike. The day of the defilement has come. As even more of these titans began to rain down on the mutant-only city, very little people got away. Very little. Wolverine fought for his life, but he was sent to his brother in hell. Domino fled, along with some others. They escaped. But most of the population of the now mutant city, as well as the mutant city itself, lays in ruin. As soon as this happens, everyone gets messages. The meeting. It is time for another meeting. We were never supposed to have this again, but it's time for another meeting. Same spot. But this time, Izuku had far more ears inside this meeting. As all of them would enter, they would go through the same checks. They didn't find any of Izuku's bugs. Well, his magical bugs. Same with real ones, but he didn't really need those. In this meeting of powers that be, they would say, what the fuck is going on? How is he still alive? The sounds of almost anger and fear bubbling up to the surface. As 5 minutes later, they all come up with a plan, and they almost execute. But one of their members speak up as their eyes glow a emerald green. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, I'd like to say this. Strange, Doom, how have you been? Strange. What happened to the side of your face, friend? Strange with very damaged skin on the left side of his face. And body in general for what Izuku did. And he's like, you fucker. Almost immediately. He's Strange alongside Doom and everyone in that room would lunge towards Woodwell. They would launch towards sadly, they would be launching towards someone that Izuku considered friend at one point. Someone that stabbed him in the back. The one who he had donuts with. He helped them with their little house of oddities. With all the people who knew magic inside. For those who know him, he is John Constantine. Izuku mind-controlled John. Heavily. They couldn't do anything to stop it. After all, John agreed. It was a while before Izuku did his turning evil thing. So, John didn't really remember it either. But John's arms and legs begin to light up as he explodes. And something that Izuku had implanted in John Constantine also detonates. Exploding. Killing many people that were in that 5x5 room. It wasn't a big room at all. It was big enough. Well, it wasn't a 5x5, but you know what I mean. It was big enough for a table, a couple screens, and a computer. And a lot of people stand around. During this time, very limited amount of people survived that explosion. And he says, as the last words before we end not only today's episode, he says, well, not today's episode. Well, yeah, no, today's episode and most of the people's lives in that room. All of you, I love you from the deepest, darkest parts of my unbeating heart. Your souls are now forfeit, just as that of Ares. an explosion would rip out. The world would shake once more with the same recollection, with the same feeling of dread. Another bomb of such magnitude has went off, but more people survived it this time. But that wasn't the mark of the end of something terrible. It was the mark of something even worse. I hope all of you have enjoyed this episode of What If Izuku Midoriya was Victor Von Doom. I truly do hope all of you have enjoyed. This will be a short series, if you could not tell. 5 or 6 episodes, at maximum. Probably. It depends how I want to go with the story. But truthfully, I hope all of you have enjoyed yourselves. And welcome back, Night Crew. 'Cause fuck. It's been a while since I've been feeling this giddy.